Another live with me. My name is Carrie Henderson. I am a marketing consultant that helps my clients streamline their marketing strategy so they can show up consistently online, generate new leads, and of course, grow their revenue. I'm also the founder of the Kickback with Carrie, which is an online platform that combines culture and community through an online newsletter and curated events. So I took a week off from live, but we are back, and I wanted tonight to share with you three marketing mistakes that are costing you thousands in sales. And the reason I wanted to touch base and talk about this because we are more than a month into 2023. And I believe multiple times throughout the year when you're looking at your business, you want to take assessments of like what's working, what's not working, where do I need to make improvements, what do I need to be doing differently. And so being more than 30 days in the first quarter of the year, it's a great time to reassess, to make some tweaks. You still have time before the quarter is over if you're the person like me who likes to plan quarterly. So I wanted to touch base on three things that you may be doing. You can watch this video and say, hey, I'm doing those things. I need to not be doing those things, just to help us move along and grow your business this year. Now, this came up because, I was recording some videos. I like to do some short form videos, and I came across, and I remembered an incident that happened last year when someone reached out to me about working on their marketing strategy. And so that prompted this whole discussion. So I want to give you guys a little story, what happened, the mistakes that I saw, so that you avoid them, so that you do not leave thousands of dollars in sales on the table from these mistakes. So the first thing that you want to think about is, who is your target audience? So here's what happened. Someone reached out to me. They saw the work that I was doing with my client. They loved that he was showing, every time they logged into LinkedIn, looked on Instagram, they saw him, right? And so they wanted to know, like, who's doing your marketing? How are you showing up consistently? How can we do that too? So they reached out to me, had a meeting. They wanted me to be in charge of entire content strategy, everything: email, Instagram, social media, all of the things, right? Content for online, everything. But I had to ask the question. I said, well, who is your target audience? Because I was hearing things, we would have these meetings, they were doing all of these things in place. And when I asked that question, they said, well, it depends on who is asking, who I'm talking to. And that was red flag number one. So the problem was, they hired a publicist, and publicists would get them great features on radio, but radio wasn't bringing them any clients. They had someone who was doing their social media, but I looked at the social media page, and it was, things were posting sporadically. There was no continuity in the messaging on social media. So that was another issue. That wasn't bringing in clients. They hired, I felt terrible when they told me the amount that they paid. They hired a marketing company to set up their entire webinar funnel, which, let me tell y'all right now, y'all should not be paying anyone like $15,000 to set that up. It was ridiculous how much money they spent. For them, this company set up the webinar funnel. They would send out emails for people to sign up for the webinar, I think every week, because I started getting the emails. Didn't generate any new clientele. I think the only people that signed up were this person's family, and family was like 5 people. 4 out of 5 they knew. So the problem was, there was no clear identity of who they were talking to. Like, who is the target? It can't be, well, it depends on who I'm talking to, because now you're talking to a plethora of people and your messaging isn't clear. So if their target was millennials, but their messaging is something that's that's for someone 60 plus, it's not going to connect, right? And so when it comes to your marketing strategy this year, whenever you're watching this video, make sure you are clear on who it is you are targeting. Not only demographics, like where do they live, how much they make, but you really want to think about the mindset of your target audience. That is what helps with all of your messaging. What are they thinking? What are they thinking during the different phases of marketing? When they're not aware, when they can't think of what they really need help with, what are they thinking, right? What is going on in their mind that they're not even aware is happening? there's probably a limiting belief that seems to be, the foundation for a lot of issues that people are going through. You got to speak to that. If someone knows that they have a problem, well, what is it? Is it they're procrastinating? They're a procrastinator. They don't have time. You have to speak to that. If someone knows they need help, but they don't know where to find it, what type of solutions do they need to solve their problem? You have to speak to that. So you have to understand who your target audience is at every single phase that they're going through. And so it's not just, you can't just say, oh, well, my target is someone who makes $150,000 and they live on the East Coast. That's great. But you got to get down to what are they thinking? How are they feeling? You hear people say all the time, like, what are their pain points? It's more than just what are their pain points, but how are they feeling? What are they going through? What emotions are they going through? What is something that comes up all the time when they're in this struggle? How do they get from point A to point B is what you help them do. But what are they feeling when they know they're in one spot and they know they want to go to the other, right? When they know they're stuck, let's say, and they want to have this solution or this problem solved, what are they feeling? What are they thinking? What questions are they asking themselves? You want to be able to address all of those things. And so whether you're starting from scratch, whether you're reassessing your strategy, make sure you get clear on who it is that you're targeting. And I would say if it's really broad, you may be able to niche down depending on your audience, right? So for example, you may say, oh, I work with women entrepreneurs. That's what a lot of people work with women entrepreneurs. We'll say you're a coach that works with women entrepreneurs. But what type of woman entrepreneur? Is it a Black woman entrepreneur? That's one level down. If it's a Black woman entrepreneur, is it a Black woman entrepreneur that's only making $50,000 and wants to go to 100,000? That's another niche. That's another layer down. Is it a Black woman entrepreneur in a specific industry? That's a totally different audience. Her needs will be different. Is it a Black woman entrepreneur that works a 9 to 5, but she wants to learn how to go from a 9 to 5 to work in her business full time? That's a different audience, right? So those are Black women entrepreneurs at the top of that, is the top. But those are 4 or 5 different niches, if you were a coach, that you would be targeting if you're targeting Black women entrepreneurs. And so you always want to think about, can you go a little bit deeper? Now, I know what you're probably thinking, well, what if I don't know who my audience is just yet? That is okay. You want to start. So in that example, you're starting with Black woman entrepreneur. Start speaking to her. What is she feeling as a Black woman that other people may not experience? And once you start showing up, communicating a message, you may find your tribe, you may find the audience that you're speaking to, or get a better understanding of who it is you want to serve by showing up and start sharing your message of at least the experience of that higher audience category, right? You can always niche down. When you're first starting out, you may need to start out more generic and niche down, but the goal is to get very, very, very narrow as possible as you can in your business to attract the right clientele. Because at the end of the day, it's about quality, not quantity. Quality clients, you can charge a premium for them, and you don't need to have 100 of them. It's about finding the right client that you speak to that can benefit from your service. So mistake number one that you want to avoid, so you're not losing thousands of dollars in sales, is you want to make sure you're very clear on who you're targeting, not only demographics like location, money, but you really want to think about what are they feeling, how are they feeling, what are their pain points, what journey are they going through to get from where they are right now to where they want to be. All right. So the second mistake you want to avoid is you want to avoid posting without a strategy online. Period. You want to avoid posting without a strategy, which kind of ties back into number one. So the story I was sharing with y'all, the problem was they were posting content on social media, right? This person who reached out to me, they were posting, but it was not clear who they were talking to. So not only do you want to post without a strategy, you need to post with a strategy, but you need to also think about where you're posting. Now we hear lately, everyone says you need to post multiple platforms, right? It's better to have less content, more distribution. And to a certain point, that is true. But I also think it's important to understand which platform is your primary platform, because all of them may not work. So I would recommend starting with one. Where's your client? Your client may not be on all of them. So let's say, for instance, your client is on LinkedIn. Go heavy on LinkedIn. If you post short form videos, you can post those as, shorts on YouTube, because YouTube Shorts is about to be a thing. If y'all were not aware, that's about to be a thing, if not already, right? You can post them on YouTube. Or if you have an Instagram page, you can slowly turn your Instagram page over to promote your business. What's important is to understand where your audience is, which platform they are on, and show up there first. You got to reach them first. Yes, you can expand, and most likely you will, because we are in a social media world where if you're posting content online, you need to show up in multiple mediums. But it is very important to understand where your target audience is and show up there. Because what we're not doing, and when you do show up there with a strategy, because what we're not doing is posting and praying. Okay, we are not posting something and just hopes that it works. No, we want to post with a strategy in mind. So that means speaking to your client at a specific phase in their customer journey, understanding what phase they are, understanding the messaging that resonates with them in that specific phase, because someone who is unaware of that they have a problem is going to have different messaging than someone who they're just looking for help and you need to be their solution. So it's understanding not only where to reach your audience, but having the strategy to know what to post and when to post. For instance, if you are a coach and you do launches, right? You may be someone who does a launch every 2 to 3 months for your program. If you do that, you will need to have a campaign before that, which pretty much speaks to your audience at different phases of awareness up until you open cart for people to register for your program, right? So let's say your launch date is March 1st. You're going to be posting specific content in January and specific content in February for people to be able to be ready to purchase and join your program in March. That's just, a wide range if you were doing a long window for launch. But some people, you may do a week launch, you're going to have different content for that. So the purpose is to understand what the right messaging is so that you can communicate that correctly and then communicate that on the correct platform. Because far too often, people just out here posting in a hope and a prayer and just hope something happens. And we're not doing that in this year and beyond. We are not doing that. So the goal is to understand where your audience is and to start showing up for them there correctly with the right messaging to make them want to, hey, let me reach out to so-and-so. Let me download this lead magnet. Let me find out what it is they have. Let me show up on their lives. Let me find out what it is they have to say so that I can show up and I can get the help that I need. So recap really quick. 3 marketing mistakes that are costing you thousands in sales is 1, you are not clear on who your target audience is. You're not clear on who your client is. And that ties into you're not clear on your messaging. And number 2, you're creating and posting on social without a clear strategy. This is why so many people are like, oh, I don't like posting on social media. Well, half the time you don't like posting on social media is because you don't know what to say, because you don't have a clear strategy on your messaging. If you know what to say, posting won't be a problem. You don't have to post every day. You can figure out a cadence, and we've talked about this in previous videos. But if you know who your target audience is and you know how to communicate that to them, what it is that they're going through, you know how to articulate your value, how you can help them, posting won't be a problem. The problem comes when you don't have a strategy on posting and we're just posting stuff just to see what works. Because what also happens with strategy and posting is once you understand which platform you're using, you need to understand what type of content works on that platform. What works on Instagram may not work on LinkedIn, right? So it's understanding which platform, where's my audience, which platform, and then serving them there primarily before you spread out other places. But again, a lot of people out here just posting just to post with no strategy around it, and then wonder why we frustrated with social media, like, ugh, I don't want to have to post today, because there's no purpose behind it. You just post them to post with no strategy. If you're going to post content, I'll say this. If you're going to use social media, use it as a tool. That's how social media helps you. You can use social media for fun, of course, but if you're using social media in your business, your social media, whatever platform you're using, you need to be using it as a tool for you to get visible, for you to show up in front of your ideal client, for you to generate leads, to grow your revenue. That is the goal for you using these platforms. So mistake number 3, and any of you who've been engaging with me on social media, like on LinkedIn, or been watching previous videos, are going to understand, are going to know, of course, this one had to be in there. The third mistake you're making is you are underutilizing email. Y'all know I am big on using email and growing your list. As much as we stress about social media, as much as we stress about posting content, the thing about social media is it can go away tomorrow. And so when you're using social media as a tool, not only are you using it as a tool to communicate your message, to speak to your ideal, your ideal client, but you should also be using it as a tool to get your audience off of those platforms and be able to communicate with them outside of social media. One, these platforms can go down tomorrow, and if they do, then what are you going to do? How are you going to communicate? Two, everybody don't have time to scroll all day on social media. Everyone's not going to be on there looking at your content 24/7. Let me go see if so-and-so posted today. Like, life be life and people are busy, so we don't have time for that. So the goal of email, which allows you to have a home, a space online where you can communicate with your audience anytime you want to, as frequently as you want to, and you can build trust and build a rapport and trust with them, right? So you could be posting online, but let's say, you have exciting news about something, send it to your email first. You want to share that you're going live or you're doing something on social media. Most of the time, people aren't going to see it if you post that on your regular feed, but your email list, they'll see it, they can tune in. So it allows you to communicate with them in real time about anything. But most importantly, when someone joins your email list, you have an opportunity to nurture that relationship. And it's much harder to do that on social media because everything moves so quickly. Like, you can post something today, 2 days from now, someone may or may not see it. But with email, someone joins your list, you can do an email sequence to tell your story, why it is you do what you do, why do you help them, how can you help them, right? You can nurture that relationship over time and you will stay top of mind. If you were popping up in someone's email every single week, and it could take someone up to a year to make a buying decision. But if you were consistent and you were showing them someone's email in their inbox often, every week, every other week, but you were consistent, when they're ready to pull the trigger and make a decision, they're going to reach out to you because you have been consistently reaching out to them, providing value. Don't email just to sell. If you're going to take someone's email list, you want to provide value, but you will be able to stay top of mind when they are ready to say, hey, I need help. Let me reach out to you to help them solve their problem. So that is the beauty of email. It is a higher return on your investment. A lot of sales are happening with emails that you will not necessarily get on social media. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't already built your email list, to start doing so, because it is extremely important to build that community off of these platforms that are so unpredictable. This person buys it, this leadership changes, these things change. It was photos, now it's reels, it was videos, now it's too many things happening and it's too inconsistent for social media to only be the way you communicate with your audience. It's too unpredictable and it's too unreliable. And so email is a great way for you to build trust, to communicate with your audience regularly, nurture that relationship, stay top of mind. So when someone is ready to say, hey, I'm ready to get the help that I need, they will reach out to you. So you can watch previous videos or reach out to me directly if you need tips on how to grow your email list, because I help my clients do that. But I highly encourage you this year, if you're not doing that, to focus on growing your list. So to recap, the three mistakes that are costing you thousands in sales is you are not clear on who your audience is and you're not clear on your messaging. You are posting on social media platforms without a strategy. And I would add to that, you're emailing. Your content period is not being created with a strategy, whether that's posting on social, whether that's email, whether that's video on YouTube. You are creating content period with no strategy in mind. And so that's why you find yourself stuck, because you just posting and praying. And number three, you are underutilizing email. Now, some of you may be watching this and say, hey, I have an email list, but I don't really communicate with it. Like, how should I re-engage my email list if I have one, but it's been quiet? To be honest, tell your story. Some people love to hear a story. So I had an email list when I was styling, and I stopped styling, and I didn't know what to say for a while. And then I decided, hey, I'm gonna email my list and tell them this is what's happening. I was styling. Of course it was longer than that, but I was just real about the experience. Like, what led me to the decision that I made, how I went from wanting to be, focusing on styling for almost 10 years and doing something else. And I took my email list along that journey. Now, granted, I used to be a blogger too, so I was able to do that with blogging, but it's the same concept. Even as a business owner, if you're promoting your business, your services, you want to take your customers along that journey. So if you have email lists and you haven't messaged your email list in a while, your subscribers, just send them an update. Like, let me be real with y'all. People want authenticity. They want you to be authentic. They want you to be real with them. So just explain to them what happened, maybe what you're working on, the behind the scenes, the things you've been focusing on. Have you, taken a pause? Have you started up again? Have you changed your offerings? What are you doing? Because people love to be in the know, and they're just curious. Storytelling is a great way to build trust with your audience, because they want to know what is happening. So if you do have a list, but it's been a little quiet, go ahead and get that started up again. If you don't have a list, I would recommend creating a lead magnet. And there are multiple types of lead magnets to start generating people on your email list so that you can start communicating with them regularly. Now, I want to give you a bonus, because we like to give a little extra around here. So I'm gonna give you a bonus. And today's bonus for these mistakes that are costing you thousands in sales is that you are not seeking support. And support looks different in multiple ways. But when I say you're not seeking support, anytime we want to get to a new level in anything in life, right, we got to go to the experts, because all of us will get to a certain point in whatever it is that we're doing. And then we have to seek help to get to the next level, whether it's a mentor, it's coaching, it's classes, whatever that looks like for you. If you are in your business and you have reached a certain point, and you basically hit a ceiling or you're stagnant, you need to get support. Now, for some of you, that may mean hiring a coach, like a business coach, someone to help you strategize on how to go from like 5 to 6 figures, 6 to 7 figures. Great. For others of you, that may mean outsourcing some things, because now you've reached a capacity in your business where you can no longer do it all by yourself. That is a great problem to have. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So you may need support in that way. For some of you, you may need to have a mentor. Maybe you need a coach, not necessarily a coach or be a part of a coaching program, but you need the insights of a mentor that can really and guide you along that journey. The point is, we all only know so much. We should always be continuously learning. I'm all about always investing in yourself and learning something new. Like for me, I'm always like, let me learn a new strategy that I can help for myself and my clients. You should always be in a state of learning. And so if you want to get from one level to the next, you need to seek support. It is a game changer. It will be a game changer in your business, whether it's mentorship, coaching, or outsourcing things, because you always want to be able to stay I would say stay in your zone of genius, but you always want to be able to learning something new so that you can grow. You don't want to stay at the same number forever, the same place in your business forever. The purpose is to grow. And so if you found yourself stagnant, or you found yourself overwhelmed and you're just like, I need help. If you've been telling yourself, I need help, that is a sign to get help. And so I would encourage you to seek out the support that you need. So those are the tips today. I meant to do this at the beginning. If you are watching live or on the replay, let me know in the chat so I can go back after this video and submit comments, or to respond to your comments. But again, this was the 3 marketing mistakes that are costing you thousands in sales. Number 1, not clear on who your ideal client is and not clear on your messaging. Remember, you don't want to know how you want to get into the psychology, the mind of your client, right? How are they feeling? What are they feeling? What are they feeling during the different stages that they're going through? What do they need to know or to hear to go from one phase, from unaware to solution aware? How are they feeling through this entire process? What do they know? What things do they know about themselves right now? What things don't they know about themselves? You want to speak to every part of your audience. And once you understand who they are, you can tailor your messaging accordingly. Number 2, you're creating content without a strategy, which really ties to number 1. When you don't know who you're talking to and you're not clear on your messaging and the value that you can deliver to your clients, you're posting and praying. We're just posting and just hoping for the best, instead of posting and creating content with a very clear strategy. And number 3, you're not utilizing your email to the fullest potential. And you guys have heard me tell this story before. When I started working with my client, he had like over 100 emails, but we weren't using them. And I'm like, no, 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 no. we need to be nurturing the relationship. We don't have emails just to have emails, right? We need to be using these emails. We need to be talking to our audience regularly. We need to be providing them with value. So we started providing them with weekly tips to help them during their journey. You know, you use that when you have webinars and free webinars and low cost webinars. When you're going live, you're using your email to nurture and build a relationship and build trust and to stay top of mind. And so what's great about email too is that it works for you. So you don't always have to show up online. That's another great reason to have email. It does the work for you too in that aspect. So let's say a week goes by and you're like, oh, I just don't have it in me. I wasn't able to go live this week or next week. But if you already have email scheduled, you can still communicate with your audience without relying on social media. So that's another great reason why you need email. And fourth, the bonus was that it's time to seek support when you're ready to go from one level to the next. We don't know everything. We may know how to close a sale, but we may not have the marketing right, or vice versa. Whatever it is, seek support when you need it to help you go from one level to the next. So I thank you all for watching and tuning in. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the chat, or you can send me a message, send me a DM. I will happily answer your questions directly to you, and I would love to answer them on a video as well. If you need support with your marketing strategy for your business, you're ready to streamline, get your email marketing, your content marketing together so that you can get more visible online consistently, attract new leads, and grow your revenue, shoot me a message and learn more how you can work with me. Again, my name is Carrie Henderson. I thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all next time.